And welcome to another edition, actually the relaunch of Impact Coach of the Podcast, man. Listen, I've been away for a while. I wanted to change some things up, kind of get you with a different type of style, man. So I don't want to be like everybody else. So I kind of took a step back, reinvented myself. But I am thrilled to open this relaunch with my man, Noah Gully, man. Listen, man, Noah is an outstanding young man. So let me tell you a little bit about it. He's a 28-year-old barber. He owns a shop called Gully, a barber and aesthetics over here on Ardsley Road. Actually, it's 2112A Ardsley Town Boulevard. He was born in Des Moines, Iowa, moved to Charlotte, later in life, went to No Grease Barbershop, started his process there, man. He's a family man. He's engaged. I know his fiance. He's a father. He's a brother. He's a son. Man, just he's a mentor. This guy's always giving back to the community, mentoring young men. But listen, I'm gonna get past all that, man. Let's just jump right into it, man. Welcome to the show, man. Noah Gully, Gully and Company Barber and Aesthetics, man. How you doing today?
What's up, man? I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, man, awesome, man. Like I say, look, so again, man, I've known you for a while, man. I know your mom personally. I've trained your brother. I've just been watching you from a distance, man, and you're an outstanding young man. So I definitely wanted to get you on the show. I'm sure you're going to be an inspiration to other people. So, man, we're just going to jump right into it, man. So
Appreciate that.
I remember through conversation, man, you said that you were basically inspired by your uncle to become a barber. So let's talk about what was the inspiration behind your, first of all, let's jump in. Tell us about you, man. What's going on with you, man? Your personal life, your family life. Just give us a kind of little, let us know who Noah is.
Right. So like you said, man, I'm 28 years old, born and raised in Charlotte, moved to Des Moines for my barbering. But personally, man, I just opened a barber shop 2.5 years ago. I've been really, going after this barber journey for the last 7 years now, since 2018, almost 7 years. I enjoy traveling, man. Enjoy spending time with my family. Just creating a nice balance to life, man, and not just making it so one-sided, but kind of just making a full life balance out of everything I got going on. So.
Hey, man, let's balance this, man. We can all get caught up as an entrepreneur myself. I know that you can get caught up in the chasing the dollar, right? And what I've learned over time is not every dollar is a good dollar. Not if it's gonna anything that's worth cost me my peace of mind is not worth the time, right? So let's just jump right into it, man. We talked about this earlier. You said you were inspired by your uncle to begin the barber business. Tell us a little bit more about that and what inspired you through your uncle to become a barber.
Yeah, so back when I first had my daughter, I was just turning 18 years old, and I was just trying to figure out a path in life, man. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was doing some warehouse jobs, some labor work, landscaping, just kind of whatever I could do to keep it going. And eventually I decided to go seek some guidance from my dad. I didn't really have too much of a relationship with him, so it was huge for me to go out there and just kind of hear his perspective and kind of take some of his advice and guidance. So it was at that time that I got to kind of connect with my uncle. And, growing up, visiting Iowa, I was able to, check him out at his barbershop and kind of meet all his barbers and see the lifestyle that they had created for themselves and the career that they worked. And it kind of, it was always an attractive career to me. So when I went to visit my dad, I finally decided that I was going to start my barber school journey. And he helped me get started out in Des Moines. At that time, my uncle only had one barber shop, but he had about 15 to 17 barbers that were all super dope. They dressed nice, they had dope cars, they had chains, and they had the whole look of everything. So that initially attracted me to barbering. But I said to myself that I wanted to, kind of take that route, but use my stuff for like different things. Like as far as travel, I didn't really want the cars and the clothes. I wanted to travel.
Right.
I wanted to take care of my family, and I wanted to elevate, my personal life. So at this point now, fast forward 2018 or 2016 was when I started. Fast forward to 2024. Now I have my own barbershop, and my uncle currently just opened his fourth barbershop. So,
oh wow!
it's kind of crazy how, at that time he only had one and I was just starting. Now I have one and he has four. So he continues to kind of motivate and inspire me.
Right. Family business.
Yeah, for sure. And I also have three cousins that work in his barbershop. So it's definitely a
Oh wow. So he really keeping it in the family. That's dope, man. So moving to Des Moines from Des Moines to Charlotte, eventually open your shop, man. What are some of the challenges you had to overcome, man, and things that you had to be resilient about? Because we all know, man, starting a business is not easy, right? Everything looks great on paper, but nothing ever goes according to plan, right? So what were some of the obstacles that you overcome that you were almost right there? It was like, nah, I'm just gonna keep pushing, because some people, it's easy to walk away, right? What are some of the things that you had to overcome to continue your journey?
I think ultimately the biggest thing I had to overcome was just confidence, like taking that risk.
Right.
When you're new to an industry and you're just starting out, you really just have to start from the bottom and grind your way up. And you have to, believe in yourself. And at such a young age in a new industry and so much change, it was hard for me to have that confidence. And, that's still something that you can chase and achieve every day. But it's just, kind of getting in the mirror, looking at yourself and seeing how hard you can push yourself and how far you're really willing to take your craft.
Right.
I believe that was my biggest hurdle was just gaining that confidence. I started out, I finished school and I paid off my school, and then I went into a booth rental, a commission shop where they took a large portion of everything I made. So that inspired me to then want to go to a booth rent shop. So then I went to a booth rent shop and I grinded. And I said, you know what? I think I can, open my own suite. So then I opened a one-man suite. And from there I said, I'm doing great at this. So then it was just time to elevate. Right. At each step, I had to have the confidence and the willingness to take the risk to reach that next level.
Right. So during those challenging times, man, how important was it to you to have someone, your fiance, your mom, your family, they're supporting you and encouraging you to keep going? Because like I said, it's easy to give up. It's hard to keep going. So what role was in a supporting cast? How'd that come into play?
Right. I mean, definitely family is everything, man. Family support, having somebody, having a community, by your side to kind of push you and give you a boost of confidence and let you know that, you're worthy of this, you're capable of this. Those are all great things to definitely have in your corner. I think my fiance being in the same, industry, we were able to always kind of, bounce ideas off of each other, come home and regroup, talk about our day and understand each other's schedule, understand that when we are at work, we're pouring a lot of our best selves into our clients. It's almost like a
right. Facts. We take scraps home.
Right. We take scraps homes a lot of times, but we just have always, made it a point to have that balance and be able to not only understand it, but also, kind of have a polished way of, still coming home and having something left to give to the ones that you love, for sure.
That's dope, man. So you're a proud Charlotte native, man. So let me ask you this: on the mental health side, and this kind of my platform is about men's wellness and men's health and fitness and things of that nature, community as well. So what do you feel like the barber's role in the neighborhood plays in the community as far as well-being, especially for men? What part does that play for men's overall well-being?
Right. I feel like ultimately, what I always tell people is you always start everything with a haircut. So whether it's a wedding, anniversary, a first date, first day of school, it could be a funeral, it could be a business meeting or a job interview. Everything starts with looking your best and feeling your best. A lot of confidence comes from the outside, a lot comes from the inside, but the things that we can always control is our appearance, our cleanliness, our hygiene. So I believe that the barbershop and the community barber offers, a lot of areas of, confidence. There's personal hygiene.
It's like our country club.
Right. And I
Right.
believe that,
So,
go ahead.
sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Oh no, and I was gonna say, I just believe that
Finish.
a barber is someone that you can always talk to. They're almost like a therapist. They're that person to let you kind
Mm-hmm.
of unload your stress of the week or whatever you have going on. It's a non-biased opinion, and it's just someone who ultimately is gonna try and pour their best knowledge into you, try and make you feel good, try and help you get up out their chair feeling the best that you can. And honestly, I think that's the biggest role of a barber is giving somebody that newfound confidence, making them feel fresh, making them
Mm-hmm.
feel ready to go tackle that next obstacle that they have going on in their life.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, because I believe like I said, I think we talked about this earlier. Like the barbershop is like the men's country club, right? We go there, we can talk about sports, we can talk about politics, we can talk about relationships, all the things that we face in the day-to-day basis. So I feel like it's the barbershop is one of the most healthy places for men, particularly men of color, to go and just be free, right? And just say what's on your mind. And it's most of the time it's a non-judgmental zone. Of course, we're gonna give you crap, we're gonna talk junk, but for the most part, man, that's one of the safest places for me. So let me ask you this: what have you done to secure your place or to ensure your place is a place of security and a place to land and a place that they can be vulnerable in? What atmosphere have you created?
Right. Ultimately, I think just definitely an aesthetically pleasing place. A place where like you said, we might talk a little junk here and there, but there's no judgment. I'm always playing some nice vibe music, something that's gonna get you relaxed. I don't really play too much news or sports or anything. It's just kind of a way for you to escape, everything that's going on in the world.
Gotcha.
Kind of just empty your mind, lean back in the chair, close your eyes, and relax. You know, I'm
Yeah.
always
Good.
I'm always very transparent with my clients. I like to make people a part of my
Mm-hmm.
journey, and I like to be honest with people and share life experiences and give them the honest, best advice that I can and receive their advice as well. So I think just having that open transparency allows people to feel comfortable. I also
Mm-hmm.
like to cut all textures of hair, all types of people who are in and out, whether it's black, white, Spanish, Asian. Everyone's welcome in here. And yeah, I think
That's
those are
awesome, man.
some things that I've done.
So over the years, man, I know you're very passionate about what you do, and you've made a lot of connections. You've been mentored yourself. I know we spoke about you actually being a mentor as well. What are some of the most memorable conversations or connections you've made with your clients since you've been in the business? Something that just stands out.
Well, I think something that's crazy at this point is that I've actually been a direct, I've been a direct mentor or a direct, advice giver to 5 different people now who are barbers. So I think that
Mm,
alone is just crazy to me. I never started barbering expecting that I would necessarily influence people to be barbers as well. And I'm not like here to take
mm-hmm.
credit for that, but that's just, to me, that stands out a lot is that there's been 5 people who have spoken to me before they became a barber, and they said, "You inspired me to become a barber." So that is just, it almost gives me chills thinking about.
That's awesome, man. Because you never know who you're influencing, man. You never know who you're touching, and that's why it's always best just to be kind, man, and be open and be honest, and have an ear for listening and not an ear for rebuttal, if that
Right.
makes sense. Because a lot of people listen to you just so you can hear what they have to say. They're not really listening to you. So, let's talk about your services, man. What's some of the services you offer besides just a haircut? Most people just think men just go there, lay back in the chair, get a haircut, get up out of there. There's a lot more to it, man. So talk about some of the services you offer and why you offer those services and how it benefits men well-being. Like we talked about before, you look good, you feel good, you play good, you play good, they pay good. So it all, like you said, it starts with the haircut. So what are some of your services that when people walk out here, they were like, yeah, man, this is it.
Right. So ultimately, when I was working in a barber shop with about 14 or 15 different barbers, I just noticed that I didn't offer anything that was necessarily different from them that necessarily set me aside. So I went out to
Hmm.
Washington D.C. I want to say it was in around 2020 in Washington D.C. I went and took a course, and that course it allowed me to learn beard washes, facials, scalp treatments, ingrown hair
Mm.
extraction, um, all type of different. That's where the
That's the
aesthetics
aesthetic
comes.
side of it.
That's the
Right.
aesthetic side
Okay.
of
That
it.
makes sense.
Exactly. So I think it's very important as men. A lot of times, we might feel insecure or not sure about a new type service, maybe like a pedicure or a facial, or you might not feel comfortable with the man touching on your face, or whatever the
Right.
conversation
Right.
might be.
That's your
But
intrusive thoughts.
but I think it's very important for barbers to offer, these different services, and I also think it's important for men to accept these services because, just like women take care of themselves, just like they get facials and their nails done, and these are all things that
Right.
men should be tapping into too. This all ties into self care, mental health. You gotta, like you said, you gotta feel good, you gotta look
Right.
good, and that's gonna play a lot into your mental. So one of my favorite services to do is called a aeration and beard wash. And basically, what I'll do is a deep
Hmm.
condition and wash of the beard, along with blowing it out. Especially for those guys who have the longer beards, it makes it fuller and just
Right.
gets it all
Make it look
untangled.
moist.
Right,
Moist.
gonna walk out feeling
Right.
good,
You gotta
looking
have that
good.
moisture.
And I also like doing
Right.
the.
Right. So do you feel
Also,
like
go ahead.
do the what?
Oh, I said I
No, I was
also
go.
like
I
doing the
thought you were done. I'm
Alaskan
sorry,
mask
man.
facial.
Uh-huh.
It's Alaskan
Do you
mask
feel men
facial.
are more open to that? Do you feel like
Um,
men are more open to services now?
yes, I do believe it's
I
leaning
think we
that
got a red
way.
light.
I think it's just a whole trend with starting to not really care about necessarily society's thoughts on it, but personal, like what makes you feel
Right.
good, what makes you look good, what do you consider taking care of yourself? So I do think a lot of people
Right.
are
Right.
becoming more, you know.
Yeah, I don't think it's as taboo for men to take care of themselves as it used to be, especially with this younger generation. Like, um, I'm an older guy, but I have a son in high school now, so I kind of see what's going on, and I feel like the younger kids are just more open to whatever, and they're not. People are allowed to be who they are without judgment,
Right.
and people just don't care. Because I asked my son about it. He's like, man, listen, as long as they're cool with me, I don't care what you do.
Right.
Because and I think the world would be a lot better place if we base our judgment, because everything you think about somebody or how your opinion is just your judgment, right? That's just your judgment of the situation. If we just allow people to be themselves and base our opinion on them based on our interaction, it'd be a lot better place. Because I don't, if someone asks me about you, I might get a different answer if I ask someone else. So
Right.
I can only base my opinion on you is based off what you and I have going on. Not,
Right.
what you have something going on with someone else is not my business. You might have a different interaction. So let's keep it going. So being a family man, a businessman, how do you carve out time for yourself? Prioritizing your self-care, your mental well-being. What do you do to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health is intact, and so you can be a better fiance, a better brother, a better businessman, a father? What are things that you do personally to take care of yourself?
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely been on a workout journey the last few years of my life. Sometimes it's better than others, but I definitely feel like my fitness and working out definitely helps my mind, helps me release stress, helps me look better, which makes me feel better, which makes me do all the other things better. So I think that's a big
Right.
thing. I think definitely taking that time to travel. A lot of times people say like, "Hey, you travel a lot," and I'm like, "Well, that's where I put my money.
You
Like,
do travel a lot.
I put
Right.
my money where it makes
Right.
me happy. Like a new designer shirt's only gonna make you happy until you wash it a couple times. You know what I mean? So I
Facts. Good thing. I like that. I
so
like that. I like that. That was smooth. So So I like that, man, because once you wear it, the value is gone, right? With traveling, those memories last a lifetime. You can capture in video, you can capture in pictures, you can recapture them in conversations with the person you went with, right? But that shirt, first of all, everything's so trendy, so you can only really wear it once, right?
Right.
If you live that life. But so being again, a brother or a dad, a fiance, um, how is that taking care of yourself? How's that affected, your relationship with others? Have you're setting an example for your daughter, your fiance, your brother? Has you taking care of yourself aided in your relationship with those people that you love?
Wait, I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit, Philando.
So I'm saying by you taking care of yourself, right? It's kind of like the plane, the airplane theory. Like, I got to put my mask on first before I can
Right,
help you. So you
right.
feel like by taking care of better yourself, it helps your other personal relationships because you're more in touch with yourself.
Yes, yes. I believe
Awesome.
I believe that fully. A lot of people want to help here and help here and help here, and I love to help. And I always, I'm always the type of person who will give my shirt off my back, but I have to make sure I'm good and that I'm here and that I'm present and that I'm, like you said, in tune with myself and that I'm happy because, if I wasn't, then that would definitely spread. Energy definitely spreads. It can be felt. It can be
Right.
transferred. So, my daughter could feel when I'm
Eh,
down that day. My fiance could feel when I'm not,
Mm,
sometimes, it's not like you want to neglect your feelings, but you gotta, sometimes you do have to pick up and make yourself feel better than you actually might be. But that's when you have to go back home at night. And,
mm,
mentally you have to be in tune with yourself. You have to know what makes you happy. You have to, put yourself first so that you can ultimately serve everyone else.
absolutely, man. Because if you don't do that, because we all know we typically take out our frustrations or whatever on the people we love the most. So it's important to make sure that you're in check before you go home, walk through that door. Even if it's like myself personally, I'll sit in the car for a few minutes, man, listen to something, or just get my mind shifted to where I can leave work at work. Right. When I walk through the door, I just want to be at peace. And I don't want to hear nothing about, because I truly believe the only people that really love you, people love you, but the people that really love you are the people that are behind that door when you walk out the door in the morning. Right. And
Right.
then when you walk back through that door, those are the people that really love you. So taking care of yourself, man, definitely helps you you know, have better relationships with the people that you care about. And I remember you and I were talking, we talking about mentorship, man. Talk about some of your mentors. I know you said that No Grease, those guys were really inspirational in your life. What are some of the lessons you learned from them to help you keep going day-to-day life, not just business, like as a man, as a fiance, as a father, as a friend? What are some of the lessons you learned uh through, was it Damien and I can't recall the names,
Damien,
but the guys over at No
Damien
Grease.
and Jermaine Johnson and Charlie Petty, yeah, those are the owners of No Grease. And yeah, like we had talked about before, I believe that they were some of my best mentors, especially Charlie Petty. He was on the floor with us every day. But, going to that school, I was young, man. I was, coming in 19, 20 years old, somewhere around there. And, you know, they just gave us so much information, man, so much knowledge, built our confidence. Not only did they
Mm-hmm.
teach us how to cut hair, but they taught us how to speak to people, how to do business with people, how to,
Mm,
how to not make your job about money, but make it about providing a quality
right.
service. And in exchange, the byproduct of that is money. So all I've
Mm-hmm.
done, I remember my first year in my career, or maybe my second year, I, I was kind of focused on the money. And I had to remember what they said. At first, it didn't make sense because I never came from money. I was
Right.
starting from zero. So I'm like, how can I not make it about money, but I need money to survive? Well, then I think my second year of barbering, I flipped it and I said, you know what? I'm gonna make this about getting good as hell at my craft. I'm gonna get
Right.
good as hell at building relationships, talking to people, sharing people my story, my journey, making them feel a part of
Mm-hmm.
my future and where I'm trying to go. And when I started to do all those things
Absolutely.
that were like an internal type thing, it had
The
nothing
money
to do with
flows.
money. The money came. The money started coming. The success started coming. Then I look up and I said, "Oh wow, I have 50 new clients that I'm great friends with," and it just once I made it not about the money, that's
Yeah.
when it started to elevate.
Yeah.
Um,
Because one thing I learned coming into business is one of my first lessons I learned through some of my mentors is anything you do solely for money is going to fail. Right? It's going to fail
yeah,
because people see right through that because you're just a number to them, right? But when people know that you really care about them, they'll first of all they're going to give you their money, and then they're going to invite other people to give you their money because of the service you provide and the way you make them feel. So I feel like, and that's biblical. I actually learned that myself. I attempted to start a business years ago. When I did it about money, it never worked. But when I realized if you have a gift and if you give that gift away, the byproduct is money coming in or influence.
right,
And not all currency is cash. Currency
right,
to me is my freedom.
yeah,
So yeah, man, as long as you provide a good service, man, and you worry about the money, if you do it just for money, it's not going to work. I can promise you
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But if you
If you
do it
have the
because of the love of
connection,
what you do and actually genuinely, yes, the money's going to come, man. It's going to be abundant, bro. So you're right on to something right there. So let's shift gears a little bit.
wait, let
Now
me
that
tap
you were
into one more.
mentored,
Let me tap into one more thing with that.
go ahead.
Another one of my long-term mentors that I definitely want to shout out because you know him personally as well is Kyle Jenkins, man. Um, I remember
That's my
when I
guy.
was,
That's my
yeah,
guy.
I love him, man. I got a picture of him when I was about 2 or 3 years old, man. That's how long I've known him. So when I was
Yeah,
about
Kyle's a
18
good
years
guy,
old,
brother.
I was about
Mm-hmm.
18 years old, and my daughter was just born. I was living in Hickory or like Newton, North Carolina at that time. I was working a job at a warehouse making $11 an hour. I I was broke. I didn't. I had a brand new baby girl. I didn't know what to do, man. So I remember this day like perfectly. I was walking across the street to the grocery store, and I called Kyle, and I broke down to him, man, and I told him, Kyle, I feel like I'm at the lowest point in my life I've ever been. Like, I don't know where I'm trying to go. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, Kyle and I had he had mentored me through some multi-level marketing companies. And, he had kind of
Oh yeah,
seen
Vasalis.
all that. He had kind of seen
Yeah,
my
that was it.
potential in networking with people. And,
Right.
so I just remember that day, man. We talked for a good amount of time. And I just remember him pouring so much into me that day, man. And
Right.
I remember something clicked, bro, and that was just when I made the plan to go visit my dad, and I had to get into something. I joined barber school, so that was a defining moment in my life when I think about that phone call for sure. So I want to
That's
shout out
dope,
Kyle.
man. He's an awesome guy, man. We've had Cal and I wanted those type of friends, and he's like a brother to me, honestly, man. We don't have to talk for a year, you know, and once we do, it's like we never stop. We've had some great conversations, man. Just about life and business and men's mental health. He was actually on one of my shows about men's mental health. Good dude, man, awesome guy. So it's obvious you brought him up. I didn't. So but again, so having mentors, I remember you spoke about actually having a mentor program or some type of family like community outreach program. Tell us a little bit about that. You mentioned about going to the school and talking to the younger guys. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so there's been multiple occasions now where I've worked with either Tuckasegee Elementary or Renaissance West STEM School. And the reason I like to do those schools is because they're on the west side, and they're kind of in a more underprivileged area. So I like to be able to connect with those kids. What I did was put together a group of like 7 to 10 barbers, and we just went and cut about 3 to 5 kids a piece. And we were just able to connect with them. We like to do it right before a testing period because it gives them that feel good,
Mm,
so that they can perform their best on the test and look good while they're doing it and feel good. So those were
That's awesome, man.
yeah, those are some. It was really going strong, and I had a really good connection. I was probably gonna start something, kind of more of a every 2 week period in a school, and then COVID hit. So it was something that I should have took further, but we still do it at a smaller scale. And like I said, every day there's kids in here, man, and we're just talking to these
It's
kids,
not over. Right.
telling them the real.
It's not over, bro.
Mhm.
Because you know what? A lot of times that's some of the only information they get about real life. You know what I'm saying? And it's good to have someone that you're a fairly young man, so it's you're more of a peer to him, and you don't look like so much as an old grumpy old man trying to tell them how to live their life. So
Right.
that old man like, get off my yard. You don't look
Yeah.
like that yet. So so I have to be. I'm that guy. I'm that old guy. Like, man, come on, old OG. But you know what? I heard somebody say this the other day. It's an honor to be called old. You know why?
Right.
You're outliving dummies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Old stands for outliving dummies. So
Yeah, man.
I
Not
heard your boy
everybody makes
BG
it.
say that, man.
Not
Not at all,
everybody
man. Some
makes
of
it. So every day is a blessing for sure, man. I think
what? Man, come on now. Yeah.
getting older
All
is
right,
like
so
an
let's come back.
accomplishment.
Man, come on, bro. Listen, man. Listen. Every day above is a great day, man. I cherish it all, brothers. Because it just seems like I'm 55. It feels like I was like just turned 50 2 weeks ago.
Right. Right.
And the climate we live in, that's kind of getting back on topic. The climate we live in, there's constant tension. People on edge. You got people who are walking around who don't know how they're going to feed their family. They don't know if they're going to have a job. They don't know all these things, man, is caused this world to be a very stressful place, right? So I found that meditation is huge for me. That's been one of my lifesavers in a sense, man, because it has allowed me to know who I am. I don't know if you practice meditation, but meditation, man, and a lot of people have this, connotation when you meditate, you're just going to be quiet and the world's going to stop. No, that's not meditation. Your mind's going to constantly, can you pull that back in and focus on what's really important? What's going to, what's important in your life? And that's helped me navigate through a lot, because 10 years ago, certain things you said to me, man, it ain't gonna go how you thought it was gonna go, right? Now I've allowed myself to be able to, like, man, listen, like for instance, the road rage. Someone cuts me off. What am I don't care. I'm never gonna see you again in my life. So go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead. It might save both of our lives, right? Because people are crazy.
Close,
Everybody's on.
Close to fact, you could have been about to get in an accident, and then you getting cut off by that person avoided you from an accident.
Man, see you thinking like I think. So that's why I don't get upset when I'm getting delayed in traffic. I'm like, man, that could have kept me out of an accident.
Right.
It don't take but a second, right?
Yeah.
So why you getting mad when you can be relaxing, and like, but yeah, man. So I feel like meditation, bro, just kind of, taking life for what it is. You can't really control but one or two things in your life. What comes out your mouth and what you put in your mouth.
Right.
So I just try to take care of what I can control the controllables and let everything else take care of itself. So let me ask you, this is jump back to the mental health awareness and growth. All right. So you started in 2016. What noticeable changes have you known in men that are more willing to talk about their mental health? What do you think has shifted that make men say, oh, I feel safe now? Is it what's going on in the world? Or what's your take on that that's made men become more vulnerable?
That's a great question, man. I think it's just a social development. Like, the world has just grown. The world, I don't know, man. That's a great question. You got me stumped on that one. Like,
that's my job.
I don't know if it's a particular event, but I just think that, men, like, we naturally just have feelings too. We naturally have emotions too, and you can.
There you go.
it's pressure. Like you can feel if you have a water bottle and you're filling it up and it's overflowing. Like that's the same thing with emotions. If you don't let it out, it's just,
Gotcha.
killing you inside. So I think
I like
that
that. I like that. Yeah.
I think somebody just went out there and did it, and then the next person did it, and then it just became more of like
And
a
then just
social
caught on.
sport. Yeah, and I think it's
Right.
honestly the shift of vulnerability. Oh, women allow you to give vulnerability now. Women are like, we want to be at this same place as you. We want to work. We want to build. We want to have business. And in order
Right.
to do that, then we all have to be able to balance and bounce off of each other. You know.
Boy, you just opened up a whole can of worms right there, boy. Good God Almighty. now some women will call you sassy for expressing yourself. Like, see, to me, men are caught in this what's the word I'm looking for? You're kind of stuck in the middle, right?
Right.
Like you want to be vulnerable, but then they tell you can be, but then sometimes that vulnerability is
Come back and
weaponized
bite
against
you.
you, right? It's weaponized you. So it's like, so you know what I've noticed? Since we're on the topic, I've noticed a lot of women are saying men just don't chase them anymore.
Right.
And my opinion is, you told me you don't need me.
Right.
You don't need. You can do it on your own. So now that I'm listening to you, it's a problem.
Right.
So, but we can go off the deep end on that one. But let's reel it back. Yeah, but I had to say that. But I feel like I don't sit over there giving me that eye issue. But
She was too.
hey man, but yeah, I already know. I already know. They don't like to hear that, boy. You know, they do not like, but we gonna get back. We gonna get back. Hey, one day I'm gonna have her on the show. We're gonna talk about that. So anyway, so tell her the whole her thoughts, man. So I have noticed again that this younger generation, man, they are way more open to being expressive. Some of it not to my taking, my liking. You know, I'm still old school in certain ways. Like I just fingernail polish and I just can't get that. But you know, to each his own, man. Yeah. That's just a way an expression. You know, it doesn't. I always look at it's not my household, so I really don't care. You know, it doesn't change who you are. That's just how you express yourself. I don't express myself that way. So again, that's awesome, man. But you know, that's your business. But I'm glad people are feeling comfortable enough to say this is who I am. Right. And I think that's saved a lot of lives, because think about this. If you had to live your life hiding who you were all the time, that's a mental prison.
Yeah, very true.
Right.
Very true.
And I think one of the things now with today's society is if people are more accepting, you know, it's like older guys like myself are we kind of get it, but we kind of don't. But I think we're trying to understand it. And I think the guys behind us, guys your age, really understand it and taking an accountability that, hey, that's just who they are. Right. It doesn't affect me. So it feels like everybody. So have you ever had those type of conversations in your barbershop with someone that's kind of has struggled with, you know, being themselves, and how'd you help them with that if that's the case?
Yeah, for sure. I ultimately just explain to people as like, yeah, it's the expression, the painting of the nails and all that, but it's also like a form of rebellion. So I mean, some people just want, you know, some people want to do stuff to be different, to stand out, to make people talk. If they're not talking, then you ain't doing nothing. So at the end of the day, like a lot of people just don't, I feel like a lot of people don't care now. And I feel like a lot of people are starting to understand that there's so many of these social constructs that put men in a certain box and women in a certain box. And if you do this, then this, and if you like this, then this. But ultimately, like, who made that up and who cares? And I think that's just the younger generation challenging that shit, rebelling against it. And, it's
I like that.
History repeats. I feel like, back in the day, your generation probably did some stuff that the generation before was like, yeah, I don't know, like we didn't do that.
Oh, we all, yeah. Right. Back in my day, everybody was, yeah. That's true, though. Right. So, man, you talked about being mentored, looking up to your uncle, be a family man, and you went to the schools and talked to these kids. So ultimately, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind when you're done, when you put the scissors down, and what do you want people to say about Gully aesthetics and Barber, and in particular Noah Gully?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, man, I just want to, be recognized as a good staple in the community. I want, when people think of me or talk about me, they're like, man, that dude really did his thing in the barbershop. He was a great staple in our community. He influenced people. He was a positive energy. He lived life to the fullest. He lived against the, went against the grain and, defied all odds and went against the boundaries. But ultimately, man, I want to create a place like I want to have a barber school one day, man, where I can continue to, pour into the youth, pour into young men and women in our community. And I just want to build, keep creating safe spaces, whether it's in a school, a barbershop, a solo salon, like a salon type vibe, or, whatever the vibe is. I love the hair industry. I love the reach that I have with it, the community connection. And, ultimately, I just want to, make my family proud, make myself proud, which I feel like I've done and I will continue to do.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. All right, so, man, we're going to wrap this up, man. But before we go, tell everybody how they get in touch with you, man. What's the best way to reach you and your social sites, your personal information? Give us a rundown on the best way to book an appointment with you, basically.
For sure. Like I said, my name is Noah Gully. You can search me on Google. Gully and Company Barbering and Aesthetics on Google. You'll find all my reviews. You can find my link to my Instagram. All you have to do is really type in Gully the Barber on Instagram. You can type it in on Google, and from there you'll find all my links at Gully the Barber.
Awesome, man. And listen, bro, it was a man. We're definitely going to do this again on location, kind of do what we originally wanted to do, man. But I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, man, and letting the world know about you and putting that information out there. I'm looking forward to you having a more continued success and just in life in general and your marriage that's going to come up soon, which I will be on that guest list, hopefully. Getting you before y'all get tie that knot, get on back up in the gym and get y'all right for that big day. But man, I've always been impressed with you, man. I always thought you were an amazing young man, and you're a gentleman, man, and good. So I'm proud. I'm one thing coming on the show, man. So, is there anything else we need to know before we kick off?
No, man, I appreciate you for the opportunity. This was dope, man, and I hope to continue to see you flourish on this new journey. And I can't wait to tap back in with you. Like you said, we're definitely gonna do this again, man. Hope y'all come check me out for a haircut, facial, beard wash, whatever you need. I got you. So just tap in with me, and appreciate you, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have Sid on next time, so she won't have to be in the background side eye me, Hey, man, listen, man. Thank you guys for joining us. That was another awesome edition of Impact Coaching the Podcast. Be sure to catch us live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live for Men's Club Monday, man. So, hey, man, listen, Impact Coaching the Podcast. We're out.